rumors, number one, desirable. I do what I want, when I want, and how I want it. Leave you with the one in the air, that's how I roll. So you always wanna be right, and a champion.
Be watching MulDiversity. Nobody, everyone's got to be watching MulDiversity.
Woohoo! All I want to do is zoom, and ya boom, boom. Just shake your rump. Yes, indeedy, MulDiverse. We are back. We are your keys to the MulDiverse. I am Mr. Rex and Effects, Quamon Star G. And no. You did not bump your head. You did not hop in the DeLorean and travel back 20 years. Jesus, it's been 20 plus years at this point. No, we are kicking off September in style with 90s month. So I'm not gonna hold y'all up. I'm not finna to keep the party from jumping off. I'm gonna toss it over to my dope folks, my dope MulDiverse folks. And yeah, we finna get into it. So straight off of UPN herself, the judge, Avia Knighton.
Yo, what is up, my 90s babies and 90s kids? Stand up, let's go. It is our time. We are breaking down everything 90s. We're talking about things that made us, that raised us. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's get into it.
Let's get it. And straight coming off of a Puff Daddy hip-hop video set, as well as leaving DC Comics in the 90s, which was a hellhole. Super writer himself, Geoff Gons.
What's up? You already know I'm kicking new flavor in your ear. Unlike some of the controversies that happened tonight. It's a whole other episode. But yeah, I'm ready to kick some flavor in your ear. Okay.
Woo. Woo. So yeah, as you can tell by our various attire, we are in 90s month. This is the prelude. This is the calm before the storm, or really the storm, but not really bad. It's just a light rain, and then it's gonna kick in and whatnot. But y'all get the metaphor. But in any case, yes, Mike will be here. He is gearing up. You know, you already know Mike is going to make the most dope entrance imaginable. So just hold out a little bit, and he's gonna kick it in. But yeah, 90s. We finna get in there. I know TW. In the chat, what's up? He said, I consider myself a 2000s kid, but so much stuff in the 90s helped shape me too. Absolutely. So this is going to be a primer. This is going to be a refresher. This is going to be the whole Eschers. And yeah, we finna get into it. So Avia, Aaron, y'all got any opening statements to make?
Yes, I'm HBCU repping like all the Black 90s sitcoms. And not only I'm a alumnus of the Grambling State University, so I had to represent Graham Fam was all in the 90s. You can see it in pretty much every Black sitcom.
Hell yeah.
So had to put on.
Ooh.
What about you, Mr. Jeff?
Well, as a super writer, hoping to be president of a company one day, I must say, just there's so much to talk about with the 90s, like the iconic imagery. It was an experience. It's an experience. Just being a budding writer at that time. Like it was something else. I think you really saw that in Green Lantern. Just with the effects of like when he got the ring, he was getting all those rings, how it was just something else. But yeah, no, like the 90s was the shit. It was some good shit, it was some bad shit, like every other decade, but it was something special. And talking about the movies and shows today, like there's a reason why they still stand the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna toss it to you two. Which one? What do y'all want to talk about first? What y'all want to get into first?
Ooh wee. Shoot, what?
Anything and every.
I think I have a TV show suggestion we can talk about first.
What you got?
What?
So let's talk about the institution. That, for those who don't recognize the clip, that's a clip from one of the most legendary trash TV shows of all
Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer. And yeah, that was let me put the camera on my face real quick because I need to really lay up on thick for this one. So back in the day, y'all, before there was social media, before there was any sort of consistent and high quality going back and forth with complete strangers on the internet, you know, folks tended to air their grievances in a lot of crazy ways beforehand. And one of the most craziest ways people aired their numerous grievances was the Jerry Springer show. Jerry Springer was a disgraced politician. And if you were a disgraced politician who wasn't the president in the 90s, you could parlay that into a television career. Jerry, he decided to use his background as being a judge and doing and solving things like that and give a platform to some of the most, should I be nice? No. Trashy, ignorant, crazy scenarios you could ever have. Period. I'm talking about affairs. I'm talking about even more affairs. I'm talking about jailhouse affairs. I'm talking about sibling rivalry. I'm talking about paternity tests. I'm talking a whole 9 yards. Anything and everything was said and done on Jerry Springer show. And of course, Jerry Springer was famous, infamous, have you, for the numerous fights that happened on the show. People probably literally signed up to be on Jerry Springer just to fight folks and be on TV. Because you couldn't get one segment where somebody would air their grievance. And I said, you know what, Jerry? You know, I'm 16 years old, and you know, I go to high school and I play the trombone. But my boyfriend, he's plucking this girl, and I know he is, and I want to confront her ass before he's gonna try to lie to my face again. And then Jerry would do some dirt shit and bring on the boyfriend first. And then he'll say his shit. She like, well, actually, we have your boyfriend here, Jeff, now. And then the crowd would boo, boo. Yeah, I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. Now, this is what we're going to do. Girl, you know I only love you. You know I ain't cheating on you. Now, that's some bullshit. Bring her ass out now. And this ain't just specific to one race. This is all races. We got the white folks, the black folks, the Hispanic folks, the whole 9 doing the shit. And then they bring out the lover, the side piece, and then they get the jack in, and then they get the punch it in. Jerry like, hold on, Clarissa, I know you brought your boyfriend here to confront him, but you have a secret as well. Yeah, hell yeah, I do. I've been fucking your best friend on the low. He like, word? And Jerry like, we actually have him here too. Let's bring him out. And before he can even come out, the boyfriend rushing him, they fighting and shit. And then then Jerry will calm everybody down. They on opposite side of the stage. And then they'll try to have a heart to heart. And then more often than not, you'll get this response. What? And yeah. I mean, was I off base with any of my description of Jerry Springer?
No, you weren't.
Because I'm thinking now, like, it was when Jerry knew he was wrong for this shit. It was when he gave it up to the audience, and you'd have someone in the audience be like, "This is for the big blue whale in that yellow dress."
And then they were,
"You ain't about shit. You never gonna be like."
Yo, true story. True story.
Ooh,
my
man.
uncle went, because for those who don't know, Jerry Springer was taped in Chicago because Chicago was a hot spot during the 90s because of the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, the whole 9. So a lot of shit was either set or shot in Chicago. So my uncle went to Jerry Springer back in the day. Exactly. If you want a perfect time capsule of what Jerry Springer is, watch that scene with Dr. Evil and Scott on Jerry Springer. But he was on Jerry Springer one time. And he literally did what you just did an example of, Aaron. He literally called out a heavier set woman, and she wanted to rush the stage. Shout outs to you, Uncle James. Shout outs if you're watching. And yeah, that was hilarious. That was one of my first exposures to Jerry Springer. I shouldn't have watched it because I had to have been about 4 or 3, maybe 5.
Oh, yeah,
Jerry was a fucking mess.
It was an after school, but like you know. You know school's over as soon as you get home and Jerry Springer is on, and you just sit there, you watch it while doing your homework, and you just shake your head like, "What is happening?"
Man.
Like, everybody wants to talk about Maury, but no, Jerry Springer was where it was at.
Man, for real.
He said,
And then, it was like after the episode, he put his final thoughts. Like he tried to have it all come like, what did we really learn today?
What did we learn
Cheating
today?
Good. Is cheating good? Maybe next time we'll know. And he's like,
and then
next time, guys.
And then, of course, we got the spinoff with Steve. We got
Shout outs to Steve Wilkos, the #1 security guard, because back in the 90s, if you were a bald-headed white guy who looked tough, you were America's sweetheart. From Goldberg to Stone Cold Steve Austin to Steve Wilkos. If you were a white guy with a bald head and it looked like you can kick somebody's ass, America loved you. Black, white, no matter. You was their guy. And Steve was always there. Like, and there's the line, TW with the line right there. Take care of yourself and each other. Like,
oh, Jerry.
Like literally, like Jerry Springer is like, that's if I'm gonna be honest, and this just shows how I just absolutely should not have watched that show. Jerry Springer is what convinced me that acting up in public is acceptable and doing cool. Like in full disclosure, it's because of Jerry Springer that you have your boy. You can thank your boy for at least 25 to 20% of how he acts. Because
I go a step further. Shoot, Jerry Springer is the reason reality TV is such a big thing now.
Tell him.
Yeah, that is true.
Tell him.
That is true.
Like,
that is true.
Jerry Springer is literally the blueprint. Like all of those, courtroom shows.
Yeah.
Judge Judy came out about the same time, I think, and it's like Jerry Springer. You can literally place it all the way back to Jerry Springer because that gave us here's the intellectual side of me. This is where we had a look at America. Got to look at itself,
man.
Mm-hmm.
We got to look at
face.
ourselves,
like the dirty, like dirty.
Like it's true face. It's true face of how America get down. You know what I'm saying? So and it's like
a KKK member getting their ass whooped. So
man, say it again. Speak on that. Let's speak on the amount of times they brought on some sort of No, I'm gonna tell you straight up one of my favorite episodes of Jerry Springer. Like I'm gonna tell you one of my favorite episodes of Jerry Springer. When they brought, because for those who don't know, Jerry Springer is a Jewish man, and they brought a neo-Nazi onto the show, and he tried to pick a fight with Jerry, and Jerry was ready to throw them hands, and I was like, oh shit,
like Jerry was that host,
like he was ready to throw down.
He was like, if it's someone like, and his reactions were so like, you could tell he did not hold it in. Like if someone was doing something stupid, he was like.
Right, like unlike what was that dude's name? Geraldo and this other dude. Like they could keep the composure. They'd have their microphone, be like, really, tell us more about your bullshit, or something like that. But Jerry Springer, he didn't care. He was like, I'm going to give the microphone to Steve. I'm ready to throw hands. I'm a judge. I can get myself out of prison. What's up?
Right.
Like that was the craziest thing to me, just how much he was an instigator, also inspiration for me instigating things, #1 instigator Jerry Springer. But yeah, that was life. That was like that showed me that real life could be exciting. Like Donahue, is that the guy you talking about?
Yeah, Donahue. Yeah. Donahue, man, Donahue. I think Donahue was the one that had a full-fledged brawl.
Yeah, are you talking about when that black dude pieced up that racist dude? Yeah, like that shit was that shit was hilarious.
Oh, man.
Like that was
You couldn't
matter
get
of
that
fact
any other time. Only in the 90s, y'all. That was trash TV.
Man,
loved it. Like even the richest of the rich would watch that shit. Like.
It just was that simple. It was like if it appealed to your basest mindset, you was gonna get with it.
Oh yeah,
Just that simple.
like the whole hour, just in front of the TV
Literally.
laughing because you know sometimes you think, is this even real? Like, is
Man.
this even real? Like, I would
I
question
think
it
that
all
was.
the time watching it. Like, this can't be. Like, this
I
can't
think-
be real.
I think that was the. I think Jerry Springer was where we got the ghetto Christmas list too.
Did they perform that on Jerry
I
Springer?
think it was Jerry Springer. It was that or Maury, but they were, talking about 5 months free rent.
Really?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, no, that's a whole other. I'm gonna find that. Jerry Springer set the standard. That was, regardless of what people want to say the '90s was, Jerry Springer was the '90s. That was the perfect, mirror reflection. That was the reflection of what the '90s was completely.
And would you like to know something else that was a complimentary piece to Jerry Springer that was definitely encapsulated of the '90s?
Yes.
Because when you speak about Jerry Springer, you speak on trash TV. There's one other institution, and I alluded to it earlier, that you must speak on.
It's me, Austin. It's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin.
Yes.
That's right.
WCW, WWF, the Attitude Era of professional wrestling. It quite literally, if we're going to speak on how Jerry Springer and its trash TV shaped everything, the WWF, WCW professional wrestling shaped even more so. You know how I talked about how folks loved them a bald-headed white dude in the 90s? Well, you didn't get more beloved than Stone Cold. Oh, good old Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, what about a whoop ass on all you bastards, you beady-eyed bastards, what? You got The Rock, the People's Champ, the jabroni beating, pie eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, People's Champ, Vince McMahon going to no lengths to screw over Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Mankind being thrown off of the Hell in a Cell. The shout outs to the late great Joni Lauren, aka China, who blazed the trail of badass women in
wrestling. I remember her, man. I remember watching her when I was a kid. I was like, she is amazing. She is fantastic.
Okay. Don't forget my boy Randy Savage now.
And shout outs to WCW, Goldberg, can't forget Goldberg, the Icon, Sting, the NWO, Kevin Nash, ECW. When they was just, if you've ever seen any parody of wrestling and folks are taking it to the next level of violence, it's because of ECW, because they were stapling folks with legitimate staples to their foreheads, setting folks on fire, falling off of balconies, getting crucified on their television program, having legitimate steel chairs thrown on top of the wrestlers, barbed wire. Shit was crazy. Shit was very crazy. This is the reason why I'm a wrestling fan to this day.
Like, say what you will about Vince McMahon, but homeboy knew what he was doing.
He did.
Like, he knew how to make that brand like above and beyond. Like that was really savage. Like, oh my God,
he took what Jerry Springer was doing and he just took it to a whole nother level. When you go from roided out superheroes to a porn star being a top tier wrestler, we're talking about a guy. We're talking about a guy in Stone Cold that committed no less than 60 felonies. We're talking about somebody like Mankind who was again thrown off of a 16-foot structure and then slammed through it, had his tooth go through his face, got slammed on thumbtacks. You're talking about people getting set on fire, the numerous innuendo and scantily clad women, and the nudity, both intentional and unintentional. It was a mess in the best way. And it's you can't talk about the 90s and not talk about wrestling. But let's take a step back from trash TV and let's take it a couple of notches down. Let's talk about the talk shows, because you can't talk about the 90s without the talk shows. And the first one that springs to my mind that I feel is forgotten is Sally.
Yes. There it is.
Like,
there it is.
Like, Sally to me was just in that middle ground between Oprah and the chick with the glasses, and it was Sally. And you would always find that you like that's like if there was a modern day comparison, I would say it would just be a better produced Wendy Williams, but white.
It really was. Like, yeah, no, that set the standard for talk. Like, Oprah was for the, the more refined, the we're gonna help everyone. Sally was just like, let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's talk about let's spill a little tea, and let's just have a good time.
Yes, I believe Sally was the talk show where Lil' Kim went on and defended herself.
Yep. This redheaded white woman she had America on lock with all that tea that she would spill. Like, y'all know, look, like that was when rappers would go on and defend themselves too. Lord have mercy.
Yep.
90s live TV was just something completely different. Like the talk shows, it like literally anything went. Like anything goes when it came to that stuff.
Fuck yeah.
You kind of have that now with Instagram Live.
Ricky Lake.
Ricky Lake.
Let's go.
Ricky Lake was.
I remember that talk show. I remember that talk show.
Ricky Lake show.
Ricky Lake. Oh my God, Ricky Lake was something else.
Man, some of those stories that were on her show, I'm like
for God. Oh.
If Sally was a slightly above tier version of Wendy Williams, then Ricky Lake was the same for Dr. Phil. It was the precursor to Dr. Phil.
No, yeah, Ricky Lake had that messy shit on like every other. I remember Ricky Lake. I remember that. Yep. Oh my God. Yeah, no, that was a lot. That's all I can say. That was a lot. Good for her from, being, she went from, I think she was one of the first actresses that, became a talk show host.
Yeah.
But like, Jesus, like Ricky Lake was I think Dr. Phil's the closest thing to it now. And even then, it still doesn't have that,
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, the je ne sais quoi. Woo. Like, it's just, oh my God. Yeah, live TV was
something. It was something.
That was something, but I mean, let's go from live TV to, the narrative structured shows.
Yes.
Some things like a little ditty called Living Single.
We are living.
Yes, we're living the single lives. That's
period.
Season 1, y'all. That's season 1.
Season 1, like hilarious, inventive, iconic, show-stopping, never the same. Like, because if it wasn't for Living Single, half of these sitcoms
there'd be no
would
friends.
There'd be no friends. There'd be no New Girl. There'd be like none of these shows. Everything's on the back of Living Single if we really keep it a buck. Because Living Single is something, it was 20-somethings.
Because in the 80s, like late 80s, early 90s, teenagers and, college students had a different world.
Yep.
To represent them to a different world. HBCUs, let's go. Young kids and teenagers and also young adults had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But there was something missing for people our age, like young professional Black people, just living life. That was something missing. And Living Single filled that void. And it was just greatly written. Like, the humor was hilarious. The characters, there was character development, but they still were the same, but they were hilarious at the same time. Like, Khadijah don't need you. Max Regine with her different wigs. Like, who could forget the fight with flashback with the fight when Max took Regine to win? And Regine's like, oh, sucky now.
My auntie Moochie, shout outs to my auntie Moochie. She always reminded me of Regine because she always growing up. I always remember my auntie being, well, she still is. She always was so stylish and was the life of everything like she is now. And I'm like, that's my auntie Moochie right there.
Like, no, and you can't forget Overton Wakefield Jones now.
Shout outs to the GOAT.
Ooh. We're gonna talk about Frasier in a minute.
Yes.
Oh, that's my shit. Frasier's my shit.
I love
like,
Frasier. Damn it, Niles. Damn it.
Good God, man.
Ross. Oh, come on, Ross.
No, like the 90s had, I think that was 90s was when 90s TV was when we got more suggestive material, and it was a little more biting with the humor, and it's like people took chances.
Because
Like
in the
he got
nanny,
it with, say what?
the nanny rewatching.
Oh my God, the nanny. See, like
I was like, ooh, they said
flew
that.
over my head. Flew over my head. You got the nanny, Living Single, Frasier, and Fresh Prince. Like those four to me are the ones with all those jokes. They're just like, damn, you can't get away with that today.
Man, for real.
Just
I think my
watching some my bad. Sorry, you. Sorry.
No, you got it. No, go ahead.
Just saying that because there were some jokes in the nanny where I just had to like my jaw just dropped. Like, did you really just say that? He's like, this is on what channel was it on? NBC?
Yeah.
NBC, like, you said that on NBC.
I think my favorite thing, and this is the Fresh Prince. I'm gonna tell you my favorite moments from two favorite moments in the Fresh Prince. The one when Will first met Nia Long character, and they in the cabin, and he tied up, and he thinking that it's gonna be some sucky stuff, and she said her first crazy line. He go, "Oh." and then when he's like, "So girl, you acting crazy," and she's like, "So I'm tired of folks telling me that." And walks out the cabin, he go look at the Carrey, go, "Oh." And then of course, whenever Carlton would find something out, he would run across the whole set. And then...
No, that shit was fun. Like, yeah, no, Fresh Prince. The first, please rewatch everything. This shit was so funny. Fresh Prince. My favorite scene from Fresh Prince had to be that very first. I think it was like one of the first few episodes where Will is just like playing with his fork on the glasses, and like everybody just looking at him like, "Shut up." Shut up.
No,
okay, CBS, yeah.
Yes, okay, it was CBS. I was like, what?
So, like the nanny, like that shit was so like everything in these shows, like, and the fact that it still holds up because like just with the nanny, I forgot what the context was, but like on the nanny, it was a joke about taking one of the daughters, and they were going to go to an all women's school, and they said it was something about like less is more or something. It was, but he said it so you didn't hear the is more part, just like less. And then Fran was like, "Oh, I don't think she can turn like that, but if that's what you think, I mean, good for you." Like
the sexual jokes, like the sexual jokes were just so under the radar, but if you knew them, you just cracking up because they're just so funny. And my favorite Fresh Prince was the episode when Ashley goes on a date. Where I said this on the A&A show, we were talking about the 90s on the A&A show. Yep. It's the episode when Ashley goes on a date and Will and his girlfriend have to go with her to chaperone, right? And Ashley's, trying to do her own thing, being adult. Will's, hovering, being the bigger older brother, trying to mess it up. And the guy that she's with, he's a little Casanova. He reminds him of Will. And so, Will's trying to, stop it, and Ashley sees what he's doing, and so she goes to Will. It's like, "Will, what are you doing? You're messing up my day." He's like, "Ashley, he wants cheese, okay? He wants your cheese." It's like, well, maybe I like cheese.
No, the episode on Fresh Prince when Carlton became C-Note, and it was like, Aunt Viv was like, "Matter of fact, none of y'all are going to MacArthur Park." And then Tiny Alicia was like, "Hold up, lady." She's like, "I'll call your mama too." And he's like, "Oh, yes, ma'am." Shout out to original Aunt Viv, Yeah, Kevin Campbell. Sure was.
That was the birthday episode when he sang "Happy Birthday" to Ashley on her birthday, and she fainted.
Shout outs to big Tevin Campbell. You already know what I'm talking about. Shout outs to Tevin Campbell.
Because I forgot his name, but he was in The Sandlot, like he was in The Mighty Ducks. I forgot his name, but he was the one who played Ashley's date that episode.
That shit was hilarious.
Let me tell y'all, and I'm so glad we stand on Fresh Prince, because there's two more Fresh Prince moments that spring to my mind, front of my mind. And the first one is, of course, when It is not even in hindsight, looking back on the 90s comedy, is actually pretty effed up. But god dang, Hillary Banks, will you marry me?
It shouldn't be funny. It should not be funny.
Hey, I'm sorry, but I don't think you're supposed to hit the ground like.
Oh, that was wrong.
Oh, no pun intended, but that always kill me when he say that. Wait, when Will goes, I'm sorry, but I don't think they supposed to hit the ground like that.
It was the thud. Like every time I watch that, it's like the way Hillary's in the dress, and they like.
You're like, yes, Trevor, yes. Will you marry me? Boom.
Oh man.
And then Aunt Viv number 2, she was like, it's okay, baby. I'm sure he's all right. And then whoop, they coming home from the funeral.
Oh, that was so bad.
and then when she got the cremation, she got the urn, and then we were like, Hillary, sweetie, he wasn't cremated.
Right?
Ew.
Oh my god, no, that shit. Like the writers for Fresh Prince stayed like on it all the way through. Even when Will started to become a movie star, like it worked. It worked.
Speaking of movie stars, speaking of making it work, speaking of still showing up to make this go from a 60% to 100% fire. Speaking of that person, ladies and gentlemen, the omnipotent one. Yes, it's no longer it's odd because he's odd geek. The omnipotent odd geek himself, Mike, is finally here. What's
Do
up?
the running man. Do the running man.
You want to do the running man?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh, that hurt. I just left the gym. That hurt.
Oh no, that shit was hilarious. No, when Aunt Janice brought Frank, like the way they was like, I didn't expect him to be so tall.
Yes, that was my next moment. That was my next moment when it was the white boyfriend and it was the flip, the inverse, because you have this affluent black family who's wealthy and the cream of the crop, and so it's the inverse of a white, affluent white person bringing home their black boyfriend or girlfriend, and now it's the inverse, and you seeing them having the same coded language that a white person would give if a black person walked through their door like that. Even going as far as the person bringing in the luggage, they thinking that's the boyfriend, and they dapping them up. They like saying, yeah, and like, man, you got the honey. And then after everybody's shocked and they say they thing, he come back in like, so where's the fine honey y'all promised me at?
Hit the road. Oh
man.
no, the episode where that little girl was bullying Ashley and her parents came over. It was really
Mind your business.
Really bougie black folk.
Mind your business.
And then he was like, I think you got him confused with your mama. Like, Uncle Phil.
I loved Uncle Phil because he had those moments, like the one where he was like busting out laughing. Like Will said something that was just funny. He was just like, ah.
Right.
We. Shout outs to the late great James Avery.
Yes, R.I.P. Maybe R.I.P.
Oh my god, no! Like that show was hilarious. That was Living Single and Fresh Prince right there. I mean, and you can't forget the third in this holy trinity, Martin.
Yeah.
Martin.
Mr.
Now
Martin.
that's my shit right there.
Speak on it, Mike. Speak on it.
I'm a Shanae stan, so like any scene with Shanae, top tier, always and forever. Like always and forever. Love Shanae.
We're always going at it.
There's one scene that Aaron will quote to this day. Keep
That's
passing
the P. Like they used to do. What they used to do. Martin mama was a trip.
Shout outs to Lady of Rage who played Key Lolo, Shanae best friend.
Oh God! Like when my favorite episode, I got too many. Favorite Shanae episode is when they had a salon and then they wanted to Pam and Gina wanted to get into that group and they said Shanae and Kilolo cannot get in the group and they ended up getting in the group. That whole entire episode is hilarious. Like hilarious.
My favorite episode, and I used to watch this episode to the dirt back in the day, the talent show episode where Martin tried to put the talent
that one, yeah.
Oh man, where God dang Gina was singing a song, and he like, you gotta sing it till you get it right, and then she killing it the whole time, but he like, do it better. Then she ended up doing her crying thing, and then Pam come like, why'd you just stop it, Martin? Then you know y'all all out. I'ma do it.
Every time, no, mine was between the scene where they did, oh God, whatever that movie is, I cannot think of it on the spot. You know, the famous line, sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
New Jack City?
Yeah, New Jack City. We had that dog. We had that stuffed dog. Like that one, but also the one where Tommy and Pam get together and Gina's like,
I was just about to say that. And Tommy tells Martin that he and Pam are together, and then Martin starts clowning him and trying to
Yes.
And she's just like, Martin, come on in here. I got something to show you.
And my favorite running gag in TV history, Tommy not having a job, and they trying to figure out he living. Roy's Chop Shop. Nah.
Oh,
just say Tashina Arnold is one of the, in my opinion, is one of the best sitcom comedic actresses around. Like her and Tisha, like both of them. Like
I'm still here.
I mean, we just gonna act like that never existed. I'm sorry. We're gonna act like that because you know I love them for their singing because they are in the original Little Shop of Horror. So when I found that out, I was like automatic stan, and they're amazing. But yeah, I love them because of what they did before, even before that. So yeah,
I'm still here.
No, you're not.
What?
Cut it out.
I wish we had that clip of Tashina laughing.
Okay, favorite. That is like my like them doing it. I think they should do more of those because they're hilarious together. And when they have moments like that where they cannot stop laughing, it's like the best because it's natural.
Right. And I mean, can we talk about the sketch show that had the 90s by the balls?
You can do what you want to do.
And live it color.
We wouldn't have got Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, J-Lo, like the Wayans, Wayans.
On the first episode, Heavy D busts out the stage to perform the theme song.
Yep. Kim Coles, like
David Allen Greer. No relation.
Like their sketches made SNLs look like trash.
Yeah.
Made SNL look like trash because they were just so funny. Homie don't play that.
Man.
Like, there are just so many classics. But then there was that came on around that time that also made SNL look like trash. You know the one.
Sure couldn't do some of them today. Like, no, I think the funniest the funniest sketch in Living Color ever did the recurring one, Men on Films. That was that one.
Yeah.
And like that shit was so fucking funny.
Hated it.
Two snaps, a twist, and a kiss.
Oh my God.
I think one of the most underrated sketches I've ever seen from Living Color that I wish more people talked about was the racist golf greens, the golf course, when they were explaining what they don't want, why they don't want black folks on, and they had goddamn no, it wasn't. It was Keenan and David in some Run DMC gear playing golf. And then the ending tagline from Jim Carrey is, "This is golf. We play on these greens, not eat them." And I'm like, that's just perfect.
The Wrath of Farrakhan, that was fucking hilarious. Anytime they did a movie parody, and the Head Detective, where it's like Mr. Potato Head. Oh my god.
And they were hilarious, man. They were
Oh, and you
hilarious.
can't forget Wanda. That shit was funny too. What's up, Keith?
Oh man.
Wanda, like, oh my god.
What's up, Keith?
Ugliest woman ever. That and Miss Bonita always having the gossip, the Haymans, anything that Jim Carrey played. Vera DeMilo, the bodybuilder who like only ate steroids for lunch, breakfast, and dinner.
Fire
like,
Marshal Bill.
Fire freaking Marshal Bill. Like,
Let me tell you something.
And
Let me tell you something.
you know they mobbed the repairman after that on all that. You know they
yeah,
did.
repair.
You
Yeah,
know they
yeah.
did.
Because Handyman, oh my god, like every single sketch they did.
I'm
was
so
just
glad you just got done
hilarious.
saying that, Avia, because I'm pretty you were going in that direction
Yep.
earlier, and nobody. I don't think we really caught on. But right us alongside Living Color, you know, Living Color's for the adults, the big folks. But there was an equally amazing '90s black centric sketch show for the cheering. You know what I'm talking about? For the cheering.
And that's all that.
The fact you got TLC.
Shout out to TLC.
Right.
This is like if you're a 90s kid, you knew every single word to the theme.
Every
Okay.
single word. The giant ear of corn. I'll never forget that thing. Lori Beth Dryberg. I really think now that I'm really thinking about it, I think all that shaped my humor.
It did too. It did for me because like Dear Ashley,
Dear Ashley.
it was hilarious. Like
Dear
asleep
Ashley.
in bed, just reading like, Dear Ashley, my mom says that I should clean up my room, but I don't want to. So she took my Game Boy. What should I do, Ashley? Well, Janita from Jonita, or someone.
Right.
No, I mean she's Joe. I'm not talking about you. This is just an example. And she was like, well, clean your stinking room.
Right.
She just started just going off. Just like going off. It was classic.
And Repairman was my favorite, just because it Repairman, man.
Favorite.
Repairman, yeah. God, me and my brother, we would quote that shit all the time. We would literally quote Repairman, man. And of
Oh
course,
my
who can
God.
forget? He's a dude. She's a dude. We're all dudes.
Hey, good freaking
That's-
burger.
That's
And
where
Pizza Face.
the second best Nickelodeon movie, as decided by us.
Period.
That's where that
Face.
originated from.
No, Big Ear Boy. That was his name. Big Ear Boy, and Pizza Face was his friend. Like, oh my god, that show, like all that was just fun. Oh, and my, that I think her name was Okra. That Oprah video that I play every now and then. Oh my god, all that was
Iconic.
Yes.
truly, like, we got some really great comedians out of it. We got the spinoff Key and Kill because of it. We got the Amanda Show. Just man.
Just like that just everything about that was just on fire. You know what I'm talking about? Everything about all that. If you were a sketch show that was not
Mhm.
afraid to put black folks at the forefront, you succeeded.
Right.
Or you were SNL. Look at Mad
That's
TV.
yeah.
We can't forget
Man,
about the
Mad-
GOAT Mad
like-
TV.
Especially in the
Man.
90s, like Mad TV in the 90s, that was the first thing on television to make light of the O.J. Simpson trial. I think that was the very first one with Orlando Jones, where he was doing that, where he was like trying to be all serious, like, I did not kill. He looked straight in the camera like, I did not kill Nicole, and I'm going to try to find and like when he just start breaking, like, only Mad TV.
Shout outs to
Oh,
Phil
Mad
Lamar.
And
Shout outs to
Jay
Phil
Will.
Lamar. Fun fact. Mad TV is actually a breeding ground for a lot of the most famous voice actors in cartoons.
Right.
You got you can literally go down the list of former Mad TV cast members and go and see their prominence in voiceover and voice animation. The most prominent being Phil Lamar,
Yeah.
who got his start doing Chris Rock impressions and whatnot on Mad TV and parlayed that.
Oh my god, when he was what was the dude, the UPS guy? That shit was that was my dad. That's my dad's favorite sketch. And even though it was only on for one season, when Artie Lang was on there, and it was That's My White Mama, make fun of all those old 90s shows. Like nobody had the balls to do that but Mad TV. Nobody.
I wish they still had a little the little magazines that used to come out.
Yes.
Mad Magazine.
Mad Magazine, that was my shit too. And then when they always played those Spy versus Spy,
I about to say that was what I used to love seeing Spy versus Spy.
Yeah,
just because it was just almost kooky and loony as Looney Tunes almost.
Mm-hmm.
Almost Jellystone-esque, you might say.
Oh, Jellystone.
They better pop up Jellystone.
Yes, but let's take it to some movies.
But wait, there's more. Hang on to your seat, baby, because this one's a screamer.
Now, Scary Movie did not come out in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. It came out in 2000.
Yeah,
but,
so save it.
But there's a movie, but the movie that it parodied.
One of my favorite horror franchises. Like, oh God, I love Scream. Like
the first two specifically, because Scream 3 also came out in 2000, which blew my mind because I could have sworn that movie came out in 99. Mm-hmm. But the first two Screams came out and redefined horror. Period. The horror, like you had from the 70s, you had your goddamn your traditional horror movies where it's more psychological, and then at the tail end of the 70s, going into the 80s, that's when you had your Jasons and your Freddys and your Halloweens and your, stuff of that nature, with your iconic, Texas Chainsaw, Leatherface, your iconic horror movies. And then you sprinkle in some Predator and Aliens in there as well with your sci-fi horror, Terminator. But
Terminator is horror?
Huh?
Technically, yeah.
Yes, the very first Terminator is horror.
Never paid no attention because it was not scary.
It was more so in the most old school sense of horror. Like you had your think of Frankenstein or Creature of the Black Lagoon level.
Okay, got you. Bet.
Yeah, but Scream basically did what no other horror movie really did outside of New Nightmare, which was also directed by Wes Craven.
Mm-hmm.
But that was more internalized on the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. But then he went mask off, ironically, with Scream and made it so it was ultra, super duper self-referential on the horror movie genre. You had your 90s teenagers watching Halloween or Friday the 13th and breaking down how a horror movie killer would do this, that, and the third. The rules. Shout outs to Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, that was and then I think the fact that it brought, as someone, for those who will watch it for the first time, and see some of the actors that they, see in all these different things, to be in something like this, and it's like anything goes, because the very first scene, Drew Barrymore,
iconic,
with the little bob, that
the sweater, the phone call
with the popcorn,
iconic,
yes, because they wanted her for the lead role of Sydney, but she was like, "Look, I'll do the first 10 minutes of the movie." So she was like, "I'll do it because I like this, the script so much, but I don't want to be the main person." So when they got her, it was
right.
And then bringing Courtney Cox,
yes,
David Arquette.
WCW World Heavyweight Champion David Arquette was also in there as the officer, Sheriff Dewey.
Yep.
It's
got married too.
Nev Campbell, Sydney, Big Money Cindy,
Campbell,
the iconic final girl.
Yep.
Big Money Matthew Lillard, as the big bad. My boy, shout outs to Matthew Lillard, just doing the damn thing in life, being that guy.
That movie, Scream, was 90s horror was something different too, because I think that's when they started taking more risks, to kind of redefine the genre, because at the same time, we got our first found footage horror movie with Blair Witch Project. That one, God, I was so scared of that.
Yeah.
Shout outs to when Cartoon Network.
It's always that ending.
Shout outs to when Cartoon Network parodied it with Scooby Doo in the 90s.
Scooby-Doo Project. for those who are on Stan Twitter, that is where Daphne running in black and white comes from. Where they play Halo over it by Beyonce. So there you go. Now you know. Oh, I know what you did last summer. What are you waiting for?
Favorite. Come on, Magic. Come on, Magic Camera.
Ooh, I know what you did. Yeah, the horror. Yeah, horror at that time was really good. It was a breath of fresh air. That's also when we got Candyman. Watch the movie that's currently out.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, that's also when we got. I think we can talk about this, in a month in detail. But that's when we got Tales from the Hood.
Ooh,
too. Tales from the Hood.
I was so scared of that movie,
Right.
y'all. It's always that ending, like, oh my, it's that one, and then I think it's the graveyard scene. Like, my cousins made me watch it, and I cried the whole entire movie. Even though I like horror movies, but that.
Yeah, when I was, I watched that when I definitely shouldn't have been watching horror, and that damn ending, and also, can I get on the casting? I'll do it in a month, but I just want to get on the casting for putting David Allen Greer as that abusive man.
Man, for real.
Like, y'all. Oh man, yeah, 90s films, that was also, here comes the film nerd in me. That was the greater rise of indie films. Yeah. And there was this one little indie film that became a really big film thanks to Jennifer Aniston in Leprechaun.
Yes.
But, there was a little film by these two guys, Ben and Matt.
Woo.
Yep.
You're talking about that Goodwill Hunting?
Yeah, that hunting, where they were hunting Goodwill.
and then at the ending when they got into that bar fight and Ben Affleck's character started talking like Shaggy, and and thank you, Aaron, for picking up that reference because I'm pretty sure no one else did.
Yes, I got it. And then he told the audience, how do you like them apples? And
yes,
I'm just waiting for Avia to jump in because I'm gonna keep talking bad about this movie. And then
because it really did show how great indie film could be, like to be Oscar winning, because you got Clerks, you got the rise of Quentin Tarantino, you got the rise of Robert Rodriguez, like all these people who came up in the 90s, Richard Linklater, like all these indie filmmakers who came up in the 90s, and now look at them. They're some of the biggest, most respected directors in Hollywood at the moment. And this, it was a time to be alive if you're an indie director in the 90s.
Didn't Boondock Saints come out in the 90s?
I think so. I think it did. Hold on.
Because that really put Willem Dafoe on the spot.
Woo! Back to formula. Woo! Let's go.
Shout out to the 90s Spider-Man movie that didn't happen with Leo DiCaprio.
Yes, and him and Mary Jane almost having sex on the ceiling.
Yep.
Yep.
James Cameron was supposed to direct it. Dr. Octopus was supposed to be the main. Was supposed to be the main villain.
Y'all playing or y'all just talking shit?
I am 100%.
Sandman was gonna be like villain B.
Yes, you already know I'm a Spider-Man aficionado, so I'm not gonna steer y'all wrong anyway.
I read the script. I remember reading that thing. God, that was an awkward script.
Just like if did you know, and this is not too 90s, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Did you know that Spider-Man 2 is originally supposed to have a post-credit scene that's directly led to Venom being in Spider-Man 3? Because they cut, it's called Spider-Man 2.5. They literally cut out a sizable chunk of the MJ marriage subplot, which was supposed to establish who John Jameson was, his space mission, and it would eventually lead to the animated series inspired sequence where he goes to space, but then he crash lands and brings back the symbiote.
Right.
That would have been dope.
I mean, let's talk about the animated series of the 90s real quick. That was the original MCU, for all of us, obviously.
Fantastic Four.
Marvel for all of the corny corny intros because I rewatched them like a couple days ago, and I was like, that Fantastic Four intro. That reminded me of waking up very early, and I was not here for that.
Garbage.
Was not here, like pure garbage. The Iron Man intro until they got to the second one, that shit was fire. But Spider-Man, whenever that shit came on, you knew what you're getting into.
Right.
Fun fact.
Oh my God.
Sorry to cut you off, but fun fact, 'cause
No,
I gotta get this fun fact out the way because I know this will shock y'all. Did you know Aerosmith did the intro to Spider-Man the Animated Series?
What?
Yes.
Mhm.
The dear, near, near. That's the guitarist from
Spider
Aerosmith.
Blood. Oh my God, that I'm still pissed about the ending of that series.
I mean, not me because it makes me cry. Ever since Stan Lee passed away, it always makes me cry when I see
Oh
it.
no, the fact we didn't get a actual resolution. It's an open ending. I was not here for that.
Well, I would
Never.
say Marvel did one cartoon right.
Woo! Say it! Say it!
Period.
Say it!
It goes
Oh,
like, you know, it
what's
says
the cartoon?
dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Oh my God,
Run,
Start
Wasserman!
to finish. Come on. Start to finish. Start to finish.
You know,
Like,
start to finish from season 1 to the last episode. There
Yeah.
is no flaws in
Yeah.
that whole series.
No.
90's
one-
X-Men animated series will be everything from years to come. I can go back and watch that on Hulu right now and be happy, or even Disney Plus because it's all on Disney Plus. But
Out
my
of
God.
order, Disney Plus. Can you fix it? It's been 3
for
years,
real.
and X-Men Animated Series is still out of order.
Wait, it's
Oh.
out of order?
You're
Yeah.
out of order. This
It's-
whole
it's-
show
it's-
is out of order.
From the second
Out of
season
order.
down, the episodes are out of order. I think the first season is the only one that's in order. Once you get
Really?
to like 2 down, all the episodes are all over the place. But
It's like, you'll watch them anyway. You'll figure them out.
But yeah, this one's for you, Morph.
Oh
Like-
my God, that was his voice. You got his voice down.
The first
No,
time
I felt for more so bad.
the first time Marvel fans realized that Mystique liked to yeet her fetus and just toss her children down a waterfall like it was a bouquet at a wedding. But I
Period.
well, yes, for real. I love
Period.
Days of Future Past, but the
Yeah,
episode
that
was
was-
excellent as well. That's
the Days
also
of Future Past episode and the Phoenix Saga.
Man,
Still hands
exactly.
down. Phoenix Saga is everything.
Yes.
Like,
shout outs to the Days of Futures Past episode for establishing that Wolverine and Storm can be a couple because
Mhm.
that's my
Mhm.
top tier. That's my top tier X relationship. And again, shout outs to Ron Wasserman, the GOAT of
Period.
90s theme songs. And
Period.
y'all know, before I'm gonna save that for last. Y'all already know where I'm gonna go with that. But it's Ron Wasserman's X-Men the Animated Series theme song is a masterclass. There's probably about 2 other theme songs that are on par. Avian, what Marvel? Did you watch the Marvel shows?
Yeah, a long time ago. I definitely watched the X-Men Evolution, but that was like in the early 2000s. But I did watch X-Men, every when I was a kid, but I haven't seen them in a long time. I haven't seen them in a long time.
I'm just gonna spare y'all because I'm not gonna let this be the last word because it'll be too long, and I'm trying to establish self-control on this topic. But Ron Wasserman didn't just do the X-Men the Animated Series intro. Oh no. See, before X-Men the Animated Series, there was another show. August 28th, 1993. There was a show that was half teenagers doing teenager things, and the other half was that sweet Toketsu Japanese footage, baby. I'm talking Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm talking the most.
Mastodon.
Let's go! This is what I'm talking about, y'all. This is what I'm talking about right here. We talking this Power Ranger life.
Oh, wow.
That's what we on right now. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about mother trucking Mastodon, Pterodactyl, Triceratops, Saber-tooth Tiger, Tyrannosaurus. And then we throw in Dragonzord and Tigerzord. Then we bring in the Ninjetti. Then we bring in Aisha, Adam, and Mother Trucking Rocky. We bringing in Goldar, Scorpina, Rita, Lord Zed, Master Vile, the Metallic Order. Like, come on. Come on, bro.
Time to conquer Earth.
We talking about how from the second half of the first season up, they started having badass music videos, songs in the fight scenes. We talking about Walter Jones, the GOAT, the most prominent black superhero of all time, Zack Taylor, creating hip hop keto, a fighting style that you can dance to. Come on, y'all. And exactly. That's just the beginning. That's the beginning. And thank you for that. You're correct. X-Men did come out before Mighty Morphin Power Rangers because you reminded me of a quick story. Saban actually leveraged because Saban Entertainment, they distributed X-Men animated series, and they told Fox if they did not, because they were scared Power Rangers would be too violent. They said if they tried to renege on bringing Power Rangers over to the States, that he would pull X-Men the animated series from syndication. So, hey, thank you for that. But the whole 90s era Power Rangers is goated from Mighty Morphin up until Lost Galaxy. That's
and that's it.
Whew. No, we're not gonna say all that, but
that's it.
And then we keep dreaming of a world where all is good, and so we're told we need a hero.
It's the high.
And we keep thinking of the time where all is good and we are kind. We need a hero.
Yo, he said.
Boy, I'm about to crank up that Mighty Morphin soundtrack when we get done.
Iconic.
What y'all want to talk about next? Because Mike sent us a nice.
We gotta take it to Gotham real quick. We gotta take it to Gotham real quick.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say, don't forget about the Batman animated series now. Iconic. That first episode, Cat.
Thank you for reminding me that Batman the animated series out of order on HBO Max.
Yeah, it is. That annoys me. Yeah, that annoys me too.
Y'all seriously?
Yes.
Yeah, it's way out of order.
The only animated show that's not out of order on HBO Max, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and I can be wrong. I think
Superman animated series might be in order, but I'm not sure.
No, because the last 3 episodes are out of order.
True.
The last 3 episodes are out of order
because they don't care. There's a joke in there somewhere. I'm not gonna make it.
Check IBM.
Teen Titans.
Batman. Oh well, now
Teen Titans in order though.
Well,
I'm not gonna go there.
That's 2000s though. Is it? Yeah.
I did miss my favorite movie that was in the 90s, and that was Clueless.
Yep.
Clueless is my shit. I remember the first time I ever watched it. This is back when I was like in my mid-20s. I had never seen it yet, and it was a 420 event. Woo! And I watched it for the first time, and I was hollering. I actually watched it back to back. That's how good it was to me. Blessed me real good.
Period.
I've only seen that movie like once, and I think I've only seen half of it. But
yeah,
I trust everybody's judgment. That is hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
If we can't forget about big Disney movies like Air Bud, Blake Check, Man House.
Those like Disney had the 90s by the balls, as we've said in the A&A show, which
which if you haven't seen, the latest episode came out yesterday. Disney Renaissance Part 1.
Yeah, like Disney. Say what you want about the mouse, but like Disney had it. Disney freaking had. Let me circle it back real quick to the Superman animated series. You know that was the reason. That was the reason. That last 3 words right there. That's the reason. You can thank Superman the animated series. Okay.
What was the reason? What was the reason?
Like
that was
that's why. That's why. But no, if we talking about favorite movies of the 90s, mine is still going to 2. It's 2. One's from Disney, one's not from Disney. Both Best Picture noms. Beauty and the Beast, because my God, the movie, it's amazing. It's like a perfect movie. But then the other one, Silence of the Lambs, like
come on, Silence of the Lambs.
That movie just
I once ate
on the edge of my seat.
I once ate a census taker who I once ate. What's the damn line?
Get it out.
All you know is he ate it with some fava beans.
Woo!
And a nice candy.
I once ate a census taker with some beans and a Chianti, and then he did the suck. He did the.
Yes. He once ate a census taker's liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. That's what he did.
I've always wondered.
Took his face off. Oh my god.
Woo.
Yep.
That's a movie.
Shout outs to the office.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the office. If you know, you know.
Oh my god! Like when what was the killer? Buffalo Bill. When Buffalo Bill has the night goggles on, old girl.
That's in the house. Yeah.
And she's just looking and like he's right there and he keeps like touching her hair. Oh my god! That
it puts the lotion on the skin or else it gets the hose again.
Put the lotion in the fucking basket. Like me and Adam say that all the time. It should not be said, but man, no, the 90s was there's some iconic movies there. And then and then this list that somebody sent us.
Wait.
I just want to say
it's a hot mess, right? It's a hot mess, right?
I just want to say, like, I kind of like something that's on this worst list.
Right, the worst list. Like that breaks my heart.
What the Land Before Time?
I like the Jetsons movie. I mean,
okay,
it had problems, sure, but like that song by Tiffany was. I mean, I really didn't care for Rover Dangerfield. I really didn't.
The rest of these, except for I can't remember if these are the bad sequels to Land Before Time or the good ones.
They are. I mean, they are. I really didn't like Mr. Cameron. It was all right.
Mm-hmm.
It was all right.
I think I'll go next.
2000 need to be on that bad list. I know that. Yeah, I said it. I said it.
Let's go into circles. We started with Aaron. So 80s. Brave Little Toaster was late 80s.
Yes.
We're gonna go in a circle counterclockwise. Aaron started off. I'm gonna give my two favorite movies in the 90s. Number one is The Lion King. Like that to me is like, it's still like, as a child with a young mother, you are told this is the best Disney movie of all time. So you're already predetermined that you're gonna love this, and then it continue every time you watch it. It lives up to the hype. Like, I'm such a Lion King stan, y'all. I went and saw the play back when I used to live in Chicago when I was a kid. I won a contest to see the Lion King stage play, and that's what made me fall in love with acting in general, like stage and all of that when I saw that. But the Lion King is goated. James Earl Jones as Mufasa, Anthony Taylor Thomas as Simba. But we stand young Simba because that was a black kid, because he sung "I Just Can't Wait to Be King," and he's being paid to this day because his mama looked out for him. Yep. So shout outs. Honorable mention to Tarzan and Aladdin, because those are also goated. And my other favorite movie of the 90s, and I'm surprised no one else has spoken on it yet except for Mike, who hasn't seen it. The Matrix.
Who said I haven't seen The Matrix?
You said multiple times you haven't seen The Matrix.
No, I said I just need to rewatch The Matrix.
I stand corrected.
Slander.
I stand corrected.
Jeez Louise.
But yes, The Matrix is literally in the annals of film history. When you have people throw around words like masterpiece and just greatest of all times, there's very few movies that actually fit the bill, and The Matrix is absolutely one of them. Keanu, Lawrence, god dang, shout outs to my boy Agent Smith, Hugo Weaving, one of the greatest movie villains of all freaking time. The baddie deluxe Trinity. It's the whole message. And I'm so the endurance this movie's had of all of the allegories that you can apply to it. You know, the overcoming your odds, breaking, doing the impossible, even the more grounded and realistic one, like the one I just learned, the trans metaphor for the Matrix. I'm doing research into that, and that's like literally it's just what the Matrix encompasses is so grandiose, and the acting is awesome, the message is sincere, and of course the action is fucking amazing. Like it's just amazing. It's so damn good. The Wachowskis, they did what they had to do, and yeah, Rumble in the Bronx and Rush Hour are honorable mentions too.
Yes.
Mike, do you have, as we were, because Avia had to go back in time and she had to rewatch these movies from the beginning, so that's why she's back.
She's back.
I was just telling everybody you had to go back in time and rewatch these shows again and these movies again in real time, so that's why you disappeared. You had to go back into the time stream and rewatch your favorite movies again so it can just stick in your mind. So what you got, Avia?
Okay. My two favorite movies of the 90s. First one is Beauty and the Beast. Love it. Classic Disney. Everything about it was great. And the second one is one that a lot of people, they probably have seen it, but it gets forgotten. It's Journey of Yellow Dog by Fox. They did it in like 94 or 96, something like that, and it was amazing. It's pretty much about this boy who finds his dog. You know, they form this bond, and him and his dad go out on on a trip to bring goods somewhere, and their boat crashes, and the boy is on and so pretty much with this dog trying to find his way home using his survival skills. And it's a really good movie. Definitely one of my favorites that I watch all the time.
I definitely need to go and watch that one. You said Trail of the Yellow Dog. I just butchered that.
From Home, Journey of Yellow Dog. It's good. It's real good.
Hell yeah. AV recommendation, y'all. Y'all better find a way to watch it. Mike, coming to you.
Death Becomes Her is number one. Just because it's iconic, it's hilarious. You have Meryl Streep in her prime, Goldie Hawn, Bruce Willis, and these two women fighting over this one man. Oh my God, it's hilarious. Just what they go through. My favorite part of that whole movie is when after they take their potion and everything, Meryl Streep gets pushes down the stairs by the both of them, and then she gets right back up and she's like TTT TTT TTT, and then she's like, you pushed me down the stairs. Iconic line. Favorite movie ever. I used to watch that all the time as a kid. And then I'm gonna go back to Gotham because it's very iconic to me. And that's going to be both the Batman movies that came out. Because I had Two-Face and I had, the Riddler, Jim Carrey, Tommy Lee Jones. And then on my other one, I had freaking Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy. Like, the gay boy in me was like, oh, let me put my little cones up here. I had my little blanket coming out that thing like I was that gorilla. Favorite, like I love Uma Thurman. Then I had another person that came from Clueless, Miss Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl. Like, come on, it was all iconic. But I have too many. As I'm looking at this list, I have too many. It's too many movies that came out in the 90s. Like, I'm about to watch Practical Magic. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Totally forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Shoot, Cruise. Y'all remember Cruise? Like,
I remember Speed.
Oh, Speed. Yes, Speed. Like, yeah, like
Keanu Reeves.
Oh my God, the first one is iconic.
Well,
I done said iconic a little bit too much tonight.
but it's true. I mean, we got Jurassic Park out of the 90s.
Right.
Like, oh man. Yeah, no, there are way too many movies. They're
T2 fuck, how can I forget T2? T2 is literally
the most iconic sequel
Terminator
ever.
2. Yeah.
Switch it up on everybody.
Yes, because for those who don't know, and which is probably a lot of people. And I recently learned this a couple of years ago. When they were promoting this movie, they were promoting it like Arnold was the bad guy, continuing from the first one, and that Patrick, the T-1000 was going to be the good guy helping John. And literally, as folks was sitting in the theater and watching the movie, that's when they found out about the switch. That's when they found out that Arnold was the good guy, which resurged his good guy persona in the 90s. Right. And that movie's iconic. It's literally one of the most heartwarming R-rated films you will ever freaking watch. And it will and it just sets such a high bar because literally no other Terminator sequel has ever come close to it ever in any capacity.
And literally, I think most action movies after that tried to emulate that. But I mean, this is a controversial take for some, but one that got really close to that fun, which is I think a lot of people thought was a piece of trash, but I think it's amazing. We got an iconic Oscar-nominated song because of it, and that is Conair. That is my shit.
Yes.
Oh,
Conair is my shit. I recently with the hair, Dave Chappelle, Cyrus the freaking virus, John Cusack, Leanne Rimes with the song. Oh my god.
Yep.
Let me tell y'all. Go ahead.
I'll just say how I bring the classic song.
Like, let me tell y'all something. I watched Con Air about 3 weeks ago for the first time ever.
Damn.
And I was like, this movie is as good as advertised. Like, it's so much more than Nick Cage going, put the bunny back in the box. Like when Cyrus says that racist shit to Dave Chappelle character, and Dave Chappelle walk up to him, like, you didn't mean any of that racist shit, did you? And Cyrus goes, hand me the gun. I meant every word of it, and then kept going on with his speech. Ving Rhames being the black activist, and Nicolas Cage doing something. My question to you is, why is a strong black man like yourself taking orders from an entitled white piece of shit like Cyrus? Well, I can play his house Nick all I want until it's showtime. Ving Rhames is just on point. Like Ving Rhames is a treasure, and I really need to shout outs to Holiday Heart.
Man, yeah.
Another 90s movie.
No, Mike, no.
I might have to do that for
line
Halloween.
right there. That line right there. Yep, when they were dancing to Sweet Home Alabama. Oh
and then
yeah,
I'm gonna tell you my one critique about goddamn Con Air. When they introduced the super duper serial killer into the movie. Yeah, and I'm like, and I love Steve Buscemi as an actor. He's really, really good, like awesome character actor. But I'm like, he still killed all those people, and he got a happy ending like that. It's not like it was a false. It was like a false goddamn imprisonment. He literally killed all of those people.
Well,
and he got to win the jackpot at the end. Like what was the
Con Air is the best Batman movie of the 90s.
Let's not get crazy.
Dawn is.
Nope, I said what I said.
Let's not get crazy. That's still Batman Forever.
It's all right.
Selma Hayek and From Dusk Till Dawn. My damn.
Yeah.
Like that was like that was another movie that I enjoyed. Me and my cousin used to watch that because it would come on HBO. And I was like, we would all be scared watching it, but it was like super iconic.
Ooh, 97, you know. In 97, Once Upon a Time in the West.
Madman Once a Damn in the West.
Loveless.
That's my favorite Will Smith movie of all time. I love Bad Boys. I love Men in Black, but Wild Wild West, there's nothing that speaks more to my soul than a black cowboy, steampunk, kicking ass, saying cool stuff, and then having one of the best songs of the 90s. Yep. You ever see Nothing to Lose, Tim Robbins and Mine Long?
Yes. I love that movie. That's when Martin was like really on his way. Yeah, nothing to like. That's what led to Bad Boys, in my opinion. Like everything just going up. Oh my God. Yeah, no, there are way too many. Like the action, the comedy, like every single genre in the 90s had at least maybe 80% of hits, 20% miss. Cause like We got Showgirls out of them, out of it. One of the worst movies out
Still
there.
haven't seen it.
Good Lord, it's bad. But you know what? It's hilarious. Everybody got AIDS and shit. That was the message of the movie. That's a line from the movie.
It is a line from the movie.
That's what he said, man, everybody got AIDS and shit.
Woo, well, holy shit.
We forgot about one iconic movie that
Go
was in the
ahead.
90s.
What?
Friday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go.
Obviously.
26 years old, like your boy, 95.
Yep.
Yes.
That scene when Joy pop up every time Hoochie Mama from Two Live Crew plays.
It's my
The trash can.
And of course she's trying to where Craig at? Where Craig at?
Oh, yeah.
Nah. My favorite part is when she called him. Who you go to the club with last night? Tell me who she is.
While she got him June laid up in the bed.
Right. Like, girl,
Oh.
shut up.
And then shout out to Trudy Proud. That's Trudy Proud, by the
Yes.
way.
Yep. Yep.
And of course the scene when Debo come and they all hide their chase. Oh.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And old boy when he.
Oh, y'all say Debo, right?
Yeah.
Y'all say Debo, right?
Yep.
He gone?
Right.
Oh my God.
No, and you win some, you lose some. But you
Okay.
better fight with another day.
Did next Friday come out in 99 or 2000? Just let the brother know.
When did it come out?
I want to say 2000.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I'm very
flat
like I'm
2000.
fiending. Please give me the good news.
Yeah, it's flat 2000.
Damn it!
Yeah.
I can't win
Flat.
shit.
I mean, but they started filming in like 90.
It don't count. It don't count. I can't win shit here.
It's all
You know
right.
who else couldn't win? Gus Van Sant, because he made Kids in 90 whatever.
Oh God,
We don't talk
that
about that
movie.
movie. Anyway,
that movie.
I just want to say
Oh,
that.
God.
I just want to say that.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
But it does look like we're at that close at a time. But there is one thing I want to play for everybody because we do want to touch on it just a wee bit because we want to surprise y'all when we get into it. We want to surprise y'all when we get into it. So let me play something for y'all because just in case y'all ain't see it, just in case y'all ain't heard about it, and y'all want security to let y'all curry them out. Hold on.
Are you tired of the same old Zack Snyder is trash rhetoric?
Snyder is still failing upward.
Are you done with the same dude bro and white women with colored hair trashing his name? Are you over conventions, YouTubers, and other institutions sullying his name for clout? Well, have no fear, MulDiversity is here because we're flipping the script. Yes, this Thursday, at 10 p.m. CST, we at MulDiversity presents Let's Not Complain About Zack Snyder. Join the MILF Hunter, Q, the Jug Avier, Odd Impotent Odd Geek, and Jeff Gones as we do the man justice. MulDiversity, where fandom matters, even yours.
Yes, shout outs to Big Homie Giles. He is our latest member of MulDiversity. He will be doing our voiceover work moving forward. He is an excellent Brit. He said, "Hey, I'm so glad that you had me," and he's fine. We talked about it. He said I can do his impressions because he thinks they're bad. No disrespect. So he said I want to look for some black chops to do voiceover work for. And I said, let's get it. Let's do it. And it's all good. So tomorrow night at 10 p.m. CST right here, we will be back at it again with Let's Not Complain About Zack Snyder as we do just that. And who knows who will show up. We said Jeff Gons will show up. That's locked in. No takesies, backsies. You might see some other people. You might let's imagine the people who will be there. You know what I'm saying? We got some squad members coming in as well. Who knows? Yes, I'm teasing Margot Robbie and Gal Gadot. So that's almost a lock that they'll be here. Also, you know, we might get some. I can't promise the bat we all know and love from those movies, but we might have another bat here. You know, we might have that. We might have somebody related to this movie. What and whatnot. You know, Jai's working on that. We believe in you. And I didn't want to say anything because we've been hearing rumors that she's jumping ship. We've been hearing rumors that there's been contract renegotiations, and I know that she wanted to. She was looking for a platform. She said DC fandom was too small, wasn't probably going to get no sort of eyes on it. But you know, all I'll say is that Colin Joss did call me this week. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what we discussed. You know, but who knows? I mean, that's all I can promise you. So, yeah. Any closing remarks, thoughts, or opinions on anything, guys? Or teases for what else is to come as we continue 90s month? You're silent, Aaron.
It's good going back down memory lane.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, that was awesome. I got a lot of movies to watch in a couple of days. I forgot about Romeo, Juliet, and
Oh,
my god!
Yes,
Yeah,
Leonardo DiCaprio, Paul Rudd, John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Classic.
Like, I'm gonna have to send y'all the list that I got. It's like Rolling Stones made an article, and it's like the 100 movies in the 90s.
If it doesn't have Biodome or Bubble Boy, it's an incorrect list.
Oh.
Aaron's face tells me all I need to know about what I just said.
Okay. Well, 90s, you know, we sure did get a lot of Spike Lee too. So
Yep.
cool.
I will send it.
Don't Be a Menace, House Party,
Man.
Friday,
Oh,
Blank Man,
Blank.
Oh,
Man.
Blank Man. Oh, wow.
Meteor Man. Am I right, Aaron?
Yes.
Meteor Man.
Yep.
Am I right?
Yep.
There, absolutely.
Yeah, can't forget Malcolm X. Can't forget Malcolm X.
Oh, yes.
Woo.
Yep.
We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Get your hand in my pocket.
I will say a movie that, as a kid, I understood what was going on. I think I have watched it as an adult now, but A Time to Kill.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
That was
that's
a very
a movie
deep.
That's a movie I can only watch once because
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'm glad they did. Oh, they all burn in hell.
Yep. Another favorite from the 90s, Eyes Wide Shut.
All right, here we go. Let's do the outro. Starting off with this.
No, because Eyes Wide Shut is where it's at.
Let's do the outro. Starting with Big Body
Eyes Wide
Amy and the
Shut,
judge.
you know.
Let them know who you is and where you be.
Forms at AV Night, and you can find the Black Cape. So check me out there too.
Yes, indeed. Now we're gonna toss it over to the Omnipotent one.
Yo. Thanks for coming out. You know, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at _oddgeek. And yeah, have a great night. See you tomorrow.
Yay. Same MulDiversity time, same MulDiversity channel. Speaking of which, Big J.
Man, I had a great time here. You know, I'm so glad to be back on MulDiversity. You know what it is? It's Jeff Gons taking over Aaron Michaels' Twitter, but I'm gonna be completely honest for a second. I'm not Jeff Gons. I'm Margot Robbie. I want my job back on MulDiversity. So
Yes, and she will have it back tomorrow night on Let's Not Complain About Zack Snyder. You will see Margot return live and in full effect tomorrow night. And of course, it's me. It's Mr. Rexin in effect, Monster RG, and all I want to do is zoom, and yeah, boom, boom. Just shake your rump. And we are so glad you guys able to tune in and kick it with us tonight. And we really cannot wait for you guys to do the same thing tomorrow night. So yeah, I hope it's not too jarring, too late jarring. I like saying jarring. I don't know why. And yeah, that's about it. I don't have anything controversial to say tonight. You know, we're I think that y'all get the point that we were really cool cats and we love y'all. So there's nothing. I'm gonna be wholesome tonight. I'm gonna say, you know, that we love y'all. You know, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all coming in. We appreciate y'all showing up and supporting us and being there with us. And, you know, when we put out stuff on social media, how everyone consistently comes out and supports us there, you know, just doing that. So that is all of my love. It's waiting for you. I still love you. Indubitably. And so, with that being said, this has been your hookup, Quamon Star G. Shout outs to all my freaks out there. Holla. If you hear me, everybody say peace.
Bye.
Peace. In the Middle East.
And the MILF Hunter will return tomorrow. Peace.